So what do? We will put them together. We will buy them a goat or two or a cow or two and support them to, start to, generate revenue for themselves. There was a time like some of them were really struggling. Those kids who say, we've put them in a boarding school. They don't want to go home because there's nothing to go to.
Yes, it's all the frustration.
I would have them in my house.
You house them in your house?
Yes, I would house them.
Now, Catherine, tell us about the Widows and Orphans Trust.
You discovered that one.
What do you do? And why?
The Widows and Orphans Trust is a trust that I was requested to get into by a friend of mine. It was started first, the Widows and Orphans Trust. There's the Widows and Orphans Trust UK. So there was a priest here in Kenya who left, a nurse here in Kenya who left and immigrated back to the UK. And she linked up with a priest who also used to work here. And in the UK, they set up the Widows and Orphans Trust with a view to helping widows and orphans here in Kenya. So I helped them then set up the Widows and Orphans Trust here in Kenya. And the Widows and Orphans Trust is a trust that is focused on widows. And what we do with widows is we get together a group of widows. The idea is about helping them to be self-reliant. So what do? We will put them together. We will buy them a goat or two or a cow or two and support them to, start to, generate revenue for themselves. Then what we did is we also set up small dispensary in Western Kenya. And the idea is that dispensary is for the treatment of the widows when they fall sick. Because remember, these are people who could fall sick and they have no money to go to a proper hospital.
Yeah.
So they go into this, it's called St. Bakita, and they are treated for free. It also treats non-widows and non-whatever. Now those ones pay. Those ones who are not registered will not pay. This trust also pays fees, school fees, for the orphans.
For the orphans.
Right?
Wow.
So we get together the orphans who are not able to pay their school fees, right from primary to secondary to college. We have graduates. And
up to university.
Yes, up to university. Wow. Now some of the graduates are coming back to serve the Widows and Orphans Trust. The widowers are not left behind. Remember I told you I believe in diversity.
Yeah.
The widowers are not left behind. So when the widowers, if you're certified as a widower, you can access treatment also. And you're not able
hospital, if you are not able to pay.
Yes, you can access. So that is the idea, and we have a good crop of alumni and also school-going kids. On average, in a year, we will have, in primary school, maybe around 60, 70 children.
Per year?
Per year. In secondary school, maybe a similar amount. Yeah. In high school, campus, we have a fewer number. Because again, we also don't focus too much on those who have performed very well, because many times donors will find those ones.
Yes.
So we focus on the ones who have not performed very well, the ones who go to local schools, because we want the cake spread out to more people. Yeah.
But are you also finding that those who don't qualify to go to university, they are still able to go to colleges, do the TVET programs and the technical courses?
In fact, we support them in those technical courses.
So they are also able to generate be able to be self-employed and generate some income.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have quite a number who are, in fact, the ones who go to university are much fewer. The ones we end up taking to TVETs are more.
Yeah. And it's good. I'm actually encouraging a lot of them to join the TVET program, because they're hands-on and it's always work for you. You can self-employ instead of waiting to get a job, a white-collar job somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's commendable. Would you say that would be part of your legacy programs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The interesting thing, Mary, is that, remember, the program is predominantly run in Western Kenya.
Yeah.
Many of these
beneficiaries
have never met me. They have never met me. I don't know them. But for me, it is, I know so-and-so is going through the program. I need them to succeed. And that's it.
Doing good and not saying a word about it.
Not saying a word about it. No.
I stumbled about this thing somewhere. Yeah. So don't ask me how. I've never heard you talk about it.
Absolutely. And for some of them, I have, there was a time like some of them were really struggling. You know those kids who say, we've put them in a boarding school. They don't want to go home because there's nothing to go to.
Yes, it's only frustration.
I would have them in my house.
You house them in your house?
Yes, I would house them. And then we ended up at some point building like a hostel for them. So now they go to the hostel.
Yeah, because also some of them, when they go back to that environment, it actually almost destroys the gain that you have realized when they are in school.
Yes.
So that's a fantastic idea.
Absolutely.
Where you house them together, they are under care, proper values, the right environment also for their studies.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
so that one is doing well. We started another project under Women on Boards, which hasn't done well, and I need to, I think, rekindle it again, which is something we were calling Sex for Pads. If you remember in Kisumu, there was a program that was run on TV about sex for pads in Kisumu and Busia County. So we heard about it as Women on Boards, and we said we can do something about it. So we started to collect a bit of money. And the idea was that it's not just about providing the pads to the girls. You need to build the capacity of her brother to stand up for her. Because her brother knows who is harassing the sister.
The protection.
So sort out the brother, sort out the mother also, because sometimes it is mothers for survival. Yes. So sort out all those issues, the root cause, as opposed to just providing. So that hasn't picked up too well. But what I have done this year is that at an individual level, I have gone to now 3 secondary schools and donated pads.
In your personal capacity?
For the whole school, yes.
Wow.
In my personal capacity. In one instance, I worked together with a group of other ladies and we supplied pads for a year. For the girls, so that there is no excuse.
Yes.
You know, because some of them, during those days, they're not going to school at all. So it's to make sure that
they lose out. The performance goes down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. The Bible tells us it's more blessed to give than to receive, and I think that always holds true.
It does.
Yeah, because the blessings come in another way, very unexpected ways when you do those things.
In fact, when I went to the factory to buy those pads for the whole year for the school, I was like, you mean this is what it costs? I can blow this money in less than a month.
Yeah, just
like
doing
that.
Things here and there.
But see,
it makes so much difference to somebody.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
And each one of us, if we just thought about it, you never lack. Once you've given that money, you will not lack.
It comes back in another way.
Yeah.
So I think giving is just the mindset. And a lot of us, it's not that we are not able to give, because as you're saying, it doesn't cost that much. I mean, it will not destroy your bank account, you know. All you probably need to do is to, just forego a drink in the evening somewhere in a 5-star.
And you won't die.
And you will not die. I know there are also people who forego lunch.
Yes.
And say, I will not have lunch this week, any time. and that money I'm going to give for a certain cause, and it works perfectly. It's the mindset.
It's a mindset. The last one that I did with the other ladies, it was a mixed school. And it was not fair to give girls and leave out the boys.
Yeah.
So what did we do with the boys? You just go here. Get somebody to go to Kamkunji for you. You get a pair of socks for every.
Wow. Everyone has something.
Everyone has something. And
yes.
By the way, those things, that's how I discovered.
It's a lot of excitement.
You go to Kamkunji, you'll get those things in.
Yeah, so you motivate everybody, and everyone feels very valued and supported. So you mean someone is thinking about me somewhere, and I matter to somebody. So the feeling is great. Wow. Now, as we finish, I know you have done something in the energy sector in terms of policy and all that. Tell us about that.